Welcome YouTube to another Anime Mondays, where today we'll be talking about episode 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen, aptly named Tomorrow. We'll be taking a look at the
Asta.
end of this arc and just seeing how this ties up this last arc before we move on to the next arc. But before we head out, let's just remember, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and comment on down below what you think of today's episode.
Hold
Without
on. I good intro and all, but I gotta stop you right there. I gotta stop you right there in your tracks. I need to share my screen for one moment, just so this can be seen. This is what we're dealing with today. This is what we're dealing with. This is the episode we're dealing with. And you know how I feel about Mojito. I'm down for him getting his head kicked in. So I was all about this, like a rag doll. Look at him, bam, 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 overwhelmed, confused, lost. He's a
he
child.
he was getting pummeled, is what I can say to still keep this video family friendly.
That's one way to say it. But he got tore into pretty. It was that was an episode, man.
Yeah. And can you imagine if it was just those two? Can you imagine what would happen if Gojo was there?
Oh man.
We probably would have seen another headless thing like Jogo.
Yep. We see Mojito kind of get forced into. He turned himself into a ball of spikes at some point because he's like, "Oh, I'm getting beat. Yeah, maybe just punch spikes." He turned his arm into a blade. He's doing everything he can to. He even turned into a child and tried to run away as he's getting pummeled. It was actually kind of great. It was wonderful.
And it
Um,
seems like time after time he was just doing whatever it takes to do his transformation jutsu, and nothing seems to be working. As as Yuji and Nanami is just unleashing a barrage of counterattacks. If
I
he,
mean, they were full on offensive. Um, but one thing I think that was so interesting, he's afraid of Yuji now. He's like, oh, Yuji, he put some cursed energy in his fist. He hitting my soul. He so hard, it hurts, it hurts. So he's like, well, Yuji, he a little bit timid and all. So I'm just gonna keep transforming people and then let him try to figure out what he gonna do about them, and I'm gonna try to fight them out. Um,
yeah, but I for one is thankful that Yuji actually overcame his little not killing anybody fear, because he kind of had to.
oh yeah, I mean, he had to understand those things were gone.
Yeah, it was unfortunately too late for those folks. And and if Yuji didn't make his way back to support Nanami, then Nanami may or may not be losing this battle.
I mean, for real.
Yep. And I
And
think, go ahead.
as soon as he finally does, he takes him out. Nami coming in, trying to strike him down. He on the verge of death himself, and then he decided it's time for him to learn a new trick. We saw the picture of him getting pummeled into nothing. He about to die, and he's being inspired. He's worried about death, and he more or less has a joygasm of being pushed so far. All right, his eyes get all big. He's just like, I bet I can do it now. He just puts his hand together, opens his mouth all wide. You see on the inside of the mouth, the hands are forming. Domain expansion. The hands just come out everywhere. Boom, 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 boom.
And all I gotta say is, that domain expansion is quite the handy one to have.
Self-embodied of perfection.
And from the little bit that we did get to see, we didn't really get to see too much of what it can do, but it seems like it pretty much expands his usage of his hand powers per se.
And you know, whenever we get to these type of domain expansion. Just the next hit or the every hit in that domain is for sure. It's a sure hit. So while Nanami's in there, because Nanami's trapped in there alone with Yuji on the outside, Yuji's just out there. I'm gonna break through this. He's just punching I guess the barrier itself, trying to punch his way through, and of course it's not supposed to be able to be broken through. But usually in his little cursed fist, he go all the way through that.
You know, I didn't think about this until just now, but you know what this reminds me of? If you take a look back at the tuning exams for Naruto, this reminds me of when Sasuke was battling Gaara in his little dome of sand. Pretty difficult to get through that unless you put some lightning into your fist.
Yeah. And then as soon as he breaks into the barrier, Sakana soul comes in contact with Mahito's again. He was like, I told you there would not be a second time. And then we see Sakana soul like cuts him down everywhere, which is weird because of course I guess that was his soul. And Yuji punches Mahito with his divergent fists.
And Mahito just gets even more wrecked because of
what happens?
Sukuna.
Of course, Mahito is too annoying to die. He runs into the sewers and flees for his life. I guess we'll have to deal with that another day.
Yep, unfortunately we'll be seeing more of childlike Mahito in the
We
future.
see Mahito looking up, and he's so excited at finding new ways to crush Yuji's spirit, as if it's his fetish, his new love language. Let's figure out how to hurt Yuji. So he is the Orochimaru of this series, clearly. I wasn't right.
Well,
So we
Pretty
are a little bit
much.
halfway through the first season. This is technically
So
and I
many
guess we're about
parallels.
to go
So
into the
much
second half of the
parallels.
season. I guess they're about to have the sister school events, whatever that is. Probably fighting. Probably fighting.
The
The
little
fact he's not
festival.
dead.
Yep. And Yuji will finally make his appearance to his classmates. So that's definitely going to be
Also,
interesting
we
to
see
really check out.
at the high school,
Especially
a bunch of
Noboru.
teachers realized that they failed.
I'm sure she's probably going to want to
Oh,
knock him upside his head or
Junpei's been
something.
dead. He's super dead. But anyway, yes, yeah, I feel. And we end the episode with Yuji saying that he won't ever again, and he's gonna kill Mahito. So dedication now. So, we'll see what happens next. I don't know how I feel about the sister arc that's about to happen, or whatever they call it, the sister school. Let's get back to killing these advanced cursed spirits. But I'll give it a chance.
Yep.
It's still pretty interesting. You ain't see enough fingers today? All of that wasn't enough for you? Self-embodiment of perfection?
Yep, but
A bunch of fingers tugging on themselves.
we'll see, but I think there's probably going to be some more of Sukuna's fingers coming out up and about in the next arc or two.
That seems like he has his own. Well, what's interesting is
Yep.
their whole effort seems slightly pointless.
As we know that
Well-
the evil organization is still out to get those
At
fingers
this
and
point,
to
I don't
get
know if they're the
Sukuna
one
on
that
their
did the
side.
cursed womb initially, because the cursed womb, after the cursed womb, they usually already had signed the pact. But nah, even better. So it is what it is.
Not that he can remember it. But speaking of which, that's one thing I can't wait to see is when
And the,
Sukuna actually lives up to his pact and say, "Yeah, you don't remember that. That's part of our pact. Good luck." That should be interesting to watch his first takeover. And we shall see when that happens in the future. Maybe near, maybe far. But overall, a decent way of ending off this arc. We'll see what comes out of that and what the
for
consequences and
real,
repercussions
that's the
are
only
of
way to
that.
live. I
But
mean, technically, I guess there's other ways,
next
but
time we'll
yeah,
be
no, it.
taking a look at the festival arc and just seeing what that's all about. But until then, folks, as always, keep y'all's lives geeky.